Photos and videos emerge as APC governor commissioned projects in Rivers State. Lagos State Governor DJ Sanwo arrives in Portharcourt, Rivers for the commissioning of Orochiri-Woroko flyover, a project of Wike's administration. This development, accompanied by a picture, was made known via Twitter by Jubril A. Gawat, the Senior Special Assistant SSA to the Governor of Lagos State on new media. Meanwhile, it is however not clear why the Rivers Governor is yet to invite PDP leaders to also grace the event. This is so problematic. Why? Why? I mean, what? Everything was going well, and I think this is the thing with newspaper articles and news platforms. I mean, why? Meanwhile, it is also, however, not clear why Rivers Governor is yet to invite PDP leaders to also grace the event. I mean, of course, it's convenient with the conversations of PDP and APC at these times when everything we're talking about is the election. So such a conversation or such questions being asked is obviously not far-fetched, but in also many ways can create problems and create theories and create conspiracies and literally adding more fuel to the fire. It's like, how can you say something like that? I'm like, you know what? We didn't intend to put that in there. Of course, it is meant to trigger conversations, which of course is important, but is the conversation really relevant? Because if we don't see how this would be important to Portharcourt or Rivers State as a whole and its people, then what is the issue talking about it? Because it's gotten to a point where we talk about these politicians like they're celebrity, like a celebrity news, and it's like we tend to forget. Actually, these people are representing us to make our lives better. That is why they are there. But we sort of have conversations about politicians interacting with each other as if they're in a separate class in some glass bubble or glass house or something, separated from a normal civilian, and we just look at them like some alien theater play, and we're just like, oh wow, look at what they're doing, look at what they're doing, look at what they're doing. And we forget that having conversations like that is to our detriment because we don't talk about what the real issues should be. And that is a problem because, again, this is so distracting. I mean, what is now the point of this? Of course, given the fact that elections are coming up soon, the tenures are ending for a lot of politicians. This is now the time that they find it best to, well, if they're corrupt and embezzle funds and sort of roughen up and tie up loose ends with whatever they're doing, or those that are still bent on remaining in power, it's time for them to, I guess, do good literally months to the end of their tenure to make themselves look like they did something during the administration, which you can actually say technically. I mean, if they did whatever they did before the tenure ended, then they did something during the administration. But really, what was the capacity and the extent of what they can actually do? Because if you want to start commissioning projects months before your tenure ends, then what is the point of that? And yes, maybe you have done that before and you've commissioned projects, whatever it is. Of what use has that been? It's not just what you do, what results they did achieve. That is where we need to start questioning, and I think that is from where we set the floor to hold these politicians accountable. But apart from that, really, this is just that is democracy. One puts it. Let's put sentiment and politics aside. Anybody can commission any project. Well, it seems like there's an issue with the fact that PDP leaders were not invited. So that is what the conversation then triggers. He should have called people like Okowa and non-performing governors so they'd understand what infrastructure development looks like. Governor Wike is a legend man. I respect him a lot. He's the only governor that loves doing project upon project. May God bless you. How does this reach you? How does this affect you? Because that is really the question. Has he bettered your hospitals and your schools and your roads? What value do you get for your tax if you pay tax? What value of life and quality of life does that? What does that do for you? It's very, very sad. if you were in trouble right now, what if you're in trouble right now and you know you're an emergency, can you just go to a hospital and enter the emergency unit without paying a deposit? If your house was on fire, like this is we're talking about your standard of life. What is the purchasing power of what you earn? What can that access to you? Are certain things, not in your reach because you can't afford it, because your purchasing power is not big enough, or because of the class that you're in? These are questions that you need to ask. So before you start saying, oh, I love this man, he's a legend because he likes the commission projects. Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, this is a problem because if you have this sort of mentality, then what is the standard for which you'd vote for him if he decides to run for office? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves. So, just Sanwo, can you please teach Governor Wike how to pay salaries and pension? Okay. Wike will join APC very soon. I mean, of course, Wike is PDP, and then maybe that's what it is, to be honest. But the fact that he didn't call, PDP, I mean, it's like, okay, fine. Of course, that is already an argument that would be triggered. Why didn't he call them? Why didn't he call them? Why didn't he call them? But this is I mean, everything is convenient, and again, it's just for triggering of conversation. It's to trigger the conversation given the context of what is happening right now in Nigeria. So we take that into consideration. Oh wow. Moral lesson: all politicians are one are friends. Use your head. Both APC, PDP, LP, and APCA. Well, if you didn't know that, well, I don't think, because again, with the way, if you look at the rate of, at the rate at which politicians decamp, I mean, what? Who is on your side? I mean, APC and PDP, they might as well just be one party. I mean, imagine if they merge. I mean, I don't think that's ever gonna happen, but you know, imagine if they do. Would we be surprised that much? It's like they try to, I guess, manufacture this sort of competition or beef. But again, it's all a performance, and we all buy into their performances. In fact, Nigerian politicians are the real Nollywood. Put what you think about it in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.